Hello, everyone. In this episode, I'm going to create a health system. Um, so the player will have health. You can take health from the player. There'll be a state for when the player is dead. We will have automatically regenerating the health. And then I'll also show you how you can do health pickups. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm using my template project that I've been building. Try to make sure that you don't require any of the previous tutorials if you just want to set up this health system. So in the content browser, in my horror tutorial, I'm just going to create a new folder called components. And in here, we're going to go and create a new blueprint class, and we want a actor component. We call this BPC, the blueprint component underscore health. What components are is they can be attached to other actors and they can hold things in them. You can interact with them. For example, these here are classed as components, and the character movement is a component that handles all the movement for the character and can have all these different settings that are exposed and things like that. So we can add one by clicking add, and then we can search for BPC underscore health. Okay, so now we have that. Let's open BPC health, so component and health. So it looks like a normal blueprint. So first thing we're going to do is we need a few variables. So we're going to create a Boolean, which will be integer. I'm going to call that current health. I'm going to add another one called max health. And the reason I'm doing this is in case in your game you want to have something that will change the maximum health you can have. That's why I'm doing this. So we got current health, max health. So that is what we need. So so the current health at start we will set to 100, and the max health we will set to 100. So let's do that. So let's create a function, and we'll call this function lose health. So what we want to do now is we are going to grab this lose health and add an input, and we're going to call it health amount and make that an integer. So this is when we're going to take damage. So what we want to do here is we want to get the current health, we want a set current health, and we want a max health pulled out. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the health amount, and then we're going to say, we're going to get current health, we're going to do minus. We're going to hook those up, so it's the current health minus the amount of damage. We want to then clamp this. So pull down here and clamp. And clamp allows us to make sure we don't go minus or we don't do anything silly. So we're going to do that, and we're going to just put those in. The minimum we're going to say 0, and the maximum will be the max health. So now we've lost health. We're going to do a branch, and now we're going to say is if the current health is equal or less. The reason I do less is just in case something happens and we accidentally go negative. Then true, we're going to say print string, and we can say death. The false we can return, and after the death we can just return like this. So this is a very simple. We take damage, we check if we're at low health. If we are 0 health, then we will be set to dead. So the next thing is increase health. So it's basically the same. So we get the current health, we get the max health. On the increase health, we add a new integer and we call it health. What did I call it here? Health amount. Sorry. So health amount. And then we're going to get the health amount. I'm going to plus. So we want to do the current health plus the health amount like this. We're going to set the current health. Like that. I'm going to pull down here and do another clamp. And we're going to clamp these up. And we're going to say the minimum is 0, maximum is the max. Now for this one, we can do, as an example, we'll just do this and we'll say greater or equal than this. We can do a branch. If it's greater or equal, then the max health, we can say I am already at full HP. So we can then return here and return that, like so. So what we can do now is we can try this out by just running it from the player. So on the event graph, what we can do is we can do, say, keyboard H and keyboard J, like this. So H, we can grab the component and we can do, if we search health, we can do lose health. And then this is where we would have the amount. So let's say we want to lose 20. And on J, we can do the same thing. We can search health and we can increase health. And we're going to increase it by 20 on this one. So now to do a check, we will search for the event tick. Let's see. Where are we? Here. And I'm just going to print string here. Like that. I'm going to set this to key 2. So it doesn't constantly go down the screen. It will just stay in one spot. I'm going to grab the BPC health and I'm going to say health. Get the current health. So if we put this in like this, and then we can try it. So we're at 100 health. So if I press H, we go down. So if I go all the way down to 0, now we're dead. If I press J, we can go up, and I'm already at full HP. So now we have a it's a very simple way of increasing the health and decreasing the health. So what we want to do now is, how do we trigger these from other things and have them do something? So what we can do here is, if you follow my previous tutorial, we created a interface system that is in, let me find it, it's BPI player. So if you want to do this and you don't have this already, you can create a new interface, and then on your player character, you can go to class settings, implement the interface here, and then you can continue on with the tutorial. So because I have this, what we can do now is we can say, we can do an add and a function, and we can say update health. So there's a couple of ways we can do this. We could either have 2 functions to update the health, so we could have a lower and increase, or we could do this, which is we have an input, and the input will be the health amount, and it will be an integer. The next one we can do is a Boolean, and we could say decrease health. So by default, this will increase the health. If we click this, it will then decrease it. Another way of doing this would be, we could create a enum. So I will do that now to show. You can right click, blueprint enumeration. We can say E underscore, what would we call this? health state, maybe. We could add 2 enums and we could say increase health and decrease health, or like damage pickup as an example. And I'll just show that here. We can do e underscore health here. We can say health state. So now what we can do is the first person character, we can actually call that. So we can go to interfaces and update health. And now we have this node. So what we can do here is we can do, so I'll show you the 2 ways of doing this with both this and this. You don't need both of these. You can just use one or the other. So I'll do one and then I'll do the other. So for the Boolean, we can do a branch here and we can plug that in. So remember, decrease health will be when we've taken damage. Increase health will be when we've picked something up. So decrease health being true, we can grab BPC health and we can search health and we can say lose health like this. And we can plug the health amount here into health amount here. So for the false, so we're not decreasing our health, we can grab BPC health again and do increase health like this. And we can put that into that. So that's that way of doing it. The other way is the health state, we can do switch like this. And we can connect these up. And we can basically just copy these like this. And we can say decrease health, increase health, and then connect both of these up like this. And then that's how that would be set up. So we can do enum, and then we can do here the Boolean like this. So that wants the BPC health. So let's put that there. So now we have this. So we can now call this anywhere, and we will do the event. So what we can do is I have a pickup over here from my previous tutorial. Once again, I will show you in the, if you do the same you did for the player with the interface and then add it to here, the only one I have that you would want is this do interact, and the input here is the player reference to get hold of the player, and that comes from the player character. And when we left click on something, if I can find where I put it, the player ref is a reference to self. Now you have that in the test object. What we can do now is we can call the function we made here the update health function. So in the do interactable, we can pull out and say update health, and we want the message. So now we have the alternate side of that here. We have the input. This is the output. Everything comes from that. This is the input here. So this is how you would do your health pickups. So on your object, you could promote this to a variable, the health amount, and then you can assign the health here. So if we interact with this, it will give 50. The way you do it with the enum is now you can have a click down box to swap between the 2 different things. So if we do this, what we do is on interact, we update the health. Then we're going to do it is valid to make sure that the object itself, this actor, is still alive, basically. If it is, we can destroy it. So what we can do now is we can come here and let's lose some health, this one. And if we click it, oh, we're now dead. Why are we dead? Oh, I increase health. Let's see here. increase. Oh, I've got this mixed backwards. There we go. That would be why. So we do that and we do that. See now. See, so we go down, we're at 40, we click, we're at 90. So we do the other way. Well, we want to damage ourselves. We're at 100, we click, we're at 50. And just to show this, we unclick that, and I will connect this one back up. And then we can go here. So lose health, click 90, and then decrease health. And then we can click. There we go. So that's how you can do pickups. So if you want now a way, like a spot in the world that will cause you damage. So you can either create a actor like this. So we can create an actor, we can call it BP_damage zone. And we can add a box collision. Let me increase the box size and make it not hidden in game so we can see it. So if I drag that out like this, what we can do is on the box here, we can come down to on component begin overlap, and we can say other actor. We can then call the damage normally health. Health. We want to decrease the health, and then same, we can promote the variable and do like, we're going to take 25 damage when we enter here. So now if we go in and we walk into here, we've taken damage. If you want then a NPC to deal damage, an NPC should have a reference to the player, and it can just call this event on it. So now we have this. We can take damage. We can heal from these pickups, for example. What about if we want to heal over time? So back in the BPC health, let me find it here. Now we want to, when we take damage or we're below 100% health, we want to now regen health. So what we can do is we can add a variable and we can say should regen like this. And then we can do another one which will be a float, and we can say regen per second. Actually, that should be an integer. What we can do here is we can say, when we lose health, we're going to call in it, we're going to create an event on the event graph. We're going to call it, I'm going to do custom event regen health. And on the lose health, so when we take damage, what we're going to say is we're going to do if we've taken damage and we're not currently dead, basically, we're going to, from the false, we're going to regen health. We're going to call that event, and then we're going to plug the return back in. So from the event graph, we're going to do a branch, and we're going to put in the should regen, because maybe you don't want to regen in your game, then you don't need to. The true, we're going to create timer by event here. And we're going to say, we're going to come down here and do a custom event just to make it all within the same area. We're going to call this health regen. The time here is how many seconds this event will run. So we type 1, every second we'll start regenerating health. What we want then is from the health regen, we're going to get the current health. I'm going to set the current health. I'm going to get the max health, and I'm going to get the regen per second, like this. So when we hit the health regen, we're going to set the current health, and that is going to be the current health plus the regen per second, like so. We're going to clamp it, and the max health is going to be the max health, like this. And then we're going to say looping, like so. And what we want to do then is we're going to do a branch here, and we're going to say if the current health is greater or equal, just so we got triple check, greater or equal than the max health. If it's true, we can promote this to a variable here, and we can say that's the regen timer. The regen timer, we're going to clear and invalidate timer by handle, like that. So what this will do is once we've hit 100 health and we no longer need to regen, then it will stop the time happening, because we don't want it to keep ticking over even though we're at 100% health. Right. So let's see, we lose health, and then what you can do here is this regen health here. If you want it, so once you've stopped taking damage, you can do a delay. So if you do 5, so after 5 seconds of not taking damage, then this would start. So the other thing is, if we are dead, I'm going to grab the regen timer and clear and invalidate as well, because we don't want to regen health if we are dead. This. So let's try that out. So should regen will be on, and we will go and try it out. So I take damage, and it's not ticking. What is it doing? It is doing this. It should be increasing the health. 75. Current health plus. Oh, I've not set the regen per second. There we go. So say you want every second you want 1 health to come back. So let's try. So we take some damage. Now every second we're regening our health very slowly, like that. And if we take damage again, but then if we are full health, we check here, we are stopping that. So this is just a basic foundation. It's a solid one. We have regening health, losing health, increasing health via either objects in the world, or if you use an inventory item, you can call this event. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you'd like to support me, I have a Buy Me a Coffee, and I've created a Patreon. The Patreon is quite bare at the moment, but I'm going to start putting some small projects up and things like that. No tutorials are going to be locked behind a paywall. It's mainly if you want some project files or more in-depth help, like personal help. That's the best way. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.